Real combat. Real action. Carnage Media.
Welcome back to another episode of Carnage Unleashed. Take two here this time. We're going to get it right this time, guys. I'm your host, Clayton Scalina. Joining me today, as always, my incredible co-host, Connor Showtime Smith. Connor, how are things back in Ohio, man? I heard you guys are getting some snow.
Yeah, we're covered. Snowed in. Ain't nobody going nowhere in Ohio today, so I got nowhere else I'd rather be but right here talking to you. I had a good night last night watching the first UFC card on Paramount. It was a great show from prelims to all the way to the main card and the main event. When it came to my picks, like I said, I kept my aura alive of being a prelims demon. I get all the prelims right, and then when it comes to the main card, I just fall apart, and that's kind of what happened again last night. But I still enjoyed the card, and it was a great way to start the year.
I agree. Paramount got a good first show, main event, super entertaining. I've never been happier to be wrong. I did pick Paddy Pimblett, but
So did I.
once again, like I said, happy to be proven wrong there for sure. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest today. Current undefeated LFA welterweight. You might be seeing him on a Paramount show here within the next couple months. Josiah, the muscle hamster Harrell. Josiah,
What's
welcome to
up?
the show, man. We're excited to have you.
Excited to be here.
So you're just outside of Columbus, right? So you're definitely in the snow as well.
Yeah, the Lord has blew the biggest load there is right outside. It has not stopped snowing, and I don't think it is going to.
Hey, no better place to be, though, than with us here recording a podcast on a Sunday afternoon. We got to keep the people entertained, right? Like everybody's going to be looking for stuff to do the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a lot of other places I'd be, but I mean, this is second best. Absolutely.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take second best for sure. But obviously, you're coming off of a big win at LFA a couple weeks ago. But before we get into that, let's talk about what got you into MMA in the first place. Where did Josiah Harrell's journey begin?
Out of my mom's womb, I would say originally, but if we speed that up, we get to college, and I was a cheerleader at Cincinnati. Plan was to walk on to the football team. Things didn't go my way. Long story short, I ended up taking a drive back to Columbus, mad as hell, mad at the world. So I ended up calling every Army recruiter I could that was in from Columbus to New Albany. And eventually, within 3-4 days, we ended up swearing in. That's after we did the physical stuff. That's after we did all of the things we need to do on my side, like with the test and everything. The moment we're supposed to swear in, like after they make us drop on our knees and everything, the moment we're supposed to swear in, I end up getting a basically just like I could not continue because I got this huge scar on the back of my neck from when I was little. I had a mole that people try to bully me for, but I would end up fighting them if they said something. So I ended up becoming the bully. Either way, that pushed me over to help the middle school wrestling team. And as that happened, me and my coach had a talk, and eventually we came up with the idea that I should try MMA. And if I do try MMA and I lose, that MMA is not for me, then I should try to go to college wrestle. BJ's always wanted me to wrestle in college. So I'm pretty sure to the day he dies, he's going to keep pushing that narrative.
So you talked about it a little bit, high school wrestling. I assume you wrestled, but did you do any other sports? What's your athletic background look like?
Black. So African Americans, my athletic black background. But all jokes aside, football, track, parkour, I thought was freaking it. I used to rollerblade a bunch, run away from my mother. That's where parkour came from. There's I don't even know if I should say this, but there's a story of I did something bad, not good. And I hear my mom come home. She's like, Josiah. And anytime she Josiah Diavion Harrell. Anytime she says my full name, it's not good. Nothing good's coming from that. So she starts running up the steps. I see her. I'm like, what's up, Mom? I see her. I take off running. We're on the second story. I open up my window. I jump out, land on a trash can, look back up. My mom's screaming at me. I take off. I'm not dealing with that. But yeah, so parkour is and fear is led my athletic career.
So when you initially started your MMA career, were you just training at a wrestling gym? Did you have any MMA coaches, any sparring partners? What did that journey look like?
Immediately, yeah. So I had one of my buddies. He was actually one of my old high school wrestling coaches, Eric Wolf. Led me to Grove City BJJ, where I'm still at. So I haven't left Grove City, and I will not leave Grove City. And yeah, they've made me the person I need to be. I'm becoming a better person as we speak, and it speaks volumes on who they are, that they can take a kid that's just mad at the world and turn him into a decent person.
I feel like that's a common theme we see in mixed martial arts. You know, it gives guys an outlet to just kind of let it all out. Right? Is that something that you feel MMA has done for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely those people that get emotional whenever they get into the training aspect of it. But no, I mean, I think I just needed somebody that could represent a family for me, something that could represent a community that cared about me a little bit. It could have been anything, but that part of me kind of broke whenever I wasn't able to play football anymore. So then I was just searching for something that brought me back to having some sort of community. And then I will say this, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, karate, whatever it is, wrestling, it will change you for the better for the most part, make you more disciplined, make you a better person, make you humble, which is, I think, more important than anything. Realizing that we're not really nothing is very important for our ego and for growth, more importantly.
Definitely happy you found this sport, man. You've been a heck of a fighter to watch so far. Connor, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you.
Yeah, so, I mean, we talked about when he brought you on here, undefeated, 11-0 professional fighter, but when undefeated means more than just pro, you never lost as an amateur as well. So going through all that, when kind of in your career was there a point where you're like, you know what, I might be pretty good at this? When was that? Do you have a moment that kind of hit you?
No, I had a moment where I guess recently, yeah. No, before we fought this guy from the #1 guy out of Kyrgyzstan, that was like before that my switch was there. It was so between the Keegan fight where I should have finished him and here it's just the switch is gone. But we've made small adjustments. Like at first I didn't like hurting people. I didn't like hurting people because I knew what it felt like to be like the only thing I can think of is me being a child and like trying to protect myself from my mom. So it's like I didn't want to do that to other people. Like that was like the little kid in me. And then as I started to get better at it, I realized that it's like violence isn't like fighting is not all about violence. It's about expressing yourself. It's about trying to come up with a game plan. It's very strategic. It's not just brutality or being a brute that gets it off. But long story short, I didn't not until we got back probably a couple months ago this year. Just there's been a lot of issues, a lot of bumps in the road that we had to deal with. So the last thing I was thinking about is, are we good enough to be a champ?
Yeah, I really like that, man. That's crazy because, like, you know, you look at your resume and what you've done, you're like, you know, this guy's pretty good. And to hear you say, you know, it's still kind of recently where you're like, you know what, I might be pretty good at this. I think that's just shows the levels of just how deep MMA really gets when you look at a guy like you taking a while to realize that you're pretty good at this sport. But I also wanted to talk about a lot of fighters are different. You know, they got different mentalities when they go in the cage. You know, you got some guys that, you know, they got to lock in. They're pacing back and forth, grunting. You got them guys that are real loose and relaxed. What's the mindset you like to bring when you go to the cage, and what kind of motivates you and, you know, gets you locked into that mindset that you need to be in the fight?
My last fight, it was just being gratitude. There was a lot of repeating. Thank you, Jesus. It was a lot of repeating. I'm protecting these basically Matt, my coach, and Tim. I'm protecting these people behind me. Like you can't let this person get past you. I'm a dead man. So between those three, it was just that's usually what it is. Just having some sort of relief of like knowing like at the end of the day, this fight doesn't really matter. It's just about expressing how good I am and basically showing what my coaches are capable of. One, two, understanding that like I'm a dead man. Like it does not matter. Like the pain that I'm fearing or whatever you fear going into it, that doesn't matter either. But between that and fear, the last one would be just gratitude, understanding that like this may be the last thing I ever get to do, and that's kind of the whole mindset I bring into it. It's just I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to put on a show. I'm happy to be able to continue, especially with all that's happened.
Absolutely. I can kind of relate to that one as well. Feeling just, I've fought some guys and seen some guys, that like to do that super pumped up, get angry type of mindset when they fight. And I just feel like I don't think that's necessary. It's at the end of the day, it's business. We're here to do what we love to do. So I really like that. I wanted to talk to you too about your amateur career real fast. You looking at your amateur career, it was about maybe a year long as an amateur, but you had multiple fights in that, 7 fights I believe as an amateur, and there was about a year long. Was that your plan to kind of go that fast as an amateur, have that many fights and then go pro, or did it just kind of happen that way?
I just slid in like that. The goal was to just see what we're capable of. So it was, okay, let's fight the best people we can. And if we're supposed to wrestle, then we're supposed to wrestle. But it was just try not to ignore the fact that like there's going to be good people that we're going to fight. So don't go around the good people, go through them in a way to where it's like, if they're going to beat me, they're going to beat me. But it's too much for me to try to conceptualize like building a plan as an AMI. Like we don't really know what's going on. Like the whole time we're not that we're lost, but like we're still getting into it. We're still trying to figure ourselves out. So I wouldn't recommend having a whole plan as an AMI, but just recommend pushing yourself, whatever that means for you, and seeing where that road takes.
Yeah, you talked about too in the beginning, like if you had to wrestle, you would wrestle. And I train with the guys. I know some guys that come from that wrestling background, and some of them, like, they love that they got it. They're like, I'm going to go to that when I need it. But then I know guys that just, like, they've been wrestling their whole lives. Like, man, I want to do anything but wrestle. So when you started fighting, because obviously you've become more well-rounded now as a undefeated pro, but back then when you the wrestling was your roots, did you like being able to rely on that, or did you kind of want to get away from that as you were starting your career?
I mean, the biggest thing is just building confidence. So as you're going into it, like if you don't know how good you are, or if you're questioning yourself at all, you need to be able to rely on something. And wrestling was just something I could rely on. And then as I'm figuring myself out, as I'm trying to discover who I am, not only as a person, not only as a man, but as a fighter, it was nice to have something to rely on, because I really didn't like, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't not even love, but like if you don't even believe in yourself that way, you're not something you can rely on. So you just have to figure out something else you can. And wrestling for me was that. I knew I was good at wrestling. I knew I was good at scrambling. I knew I was hard-headed, and I didn't like to lose. So those were the templates of me wanting to be a decent fighter. It was just making sure that I was just pushing myself, making sure that I didn't quit, and then making sure that I had something to depend on, which at the time happened to be wrestling, and then now it happens to be Jesus.
I love that. You're well spoken. I really like that. Like I said, I just knew a lot of wrestlers, that sometimes they kind of like to get away from it as they go. But I think having that base and having that background, I mean, it's almost a cheat code at the beginning, especially as an amateur, to kind of, get that ball rolling on your career. So
yeah, if you're an AMI and you got good wrestling, especially in Ohio, you're a couple steps ahead.
Absolutely, I would agree. I'm gonna pass it back to Clayton for some more questions for you, man.
Yeah, for sure. So we've talked about your amateur career, but let's dive into the pro side of things. Like we said, 11 pro fights, a lot of appearances in Ohio Combat League, an appearance in Cage Fury, and a couple LFA appearances. Of your early, let's say out of your first 5 fights, early pro, kind of trying to find your footing still, is there any fight in particular that jumps out to you as one where I was like, okay, either I proved something to myself, or this is one that people should watch to really kind of get a glimpse into who I am as a fighter?
I mean, a lot of it was the same. I mean, the Tracy Reeder fight was the one where we decided we wanted to stand up, but he ended up wanting to wrestle, and we ended up having a grappling match. If you ever want to see me play from my back, you can go back and watch that fight. So I end up to finish the fight. I want to say I was on bottom. I cupped his head and I like elbowed his arm over, and I had like a sucker drag, like an arm drag from bottom. So I'm in dirt and I start threatening his back. And then after that, I can kind of flat him out. But I do everything from my butt, just because that was a time where I didn't, not even being a lot, like I didn't care for anything. That was before I met the Lord. That was before I cared about anything. Like I wanted to lose. I wanted a reason to give up, just because you deal with a lot of just mental attacks just in fighting from general, from cutting weight to hard prepping to working out every day to having to be consistent with it. So it's like you're just irritated with the world. On top of that, I was dealing with relationship problems, and it just was not a good place for me to be. But that fight itself not only allowed me to show that I'm decent on bottom, but it proved to me that I am good enough even whenever I don't even when my mind's not into it. I knew that I was good enough. And then it also allowed me to see how close or how much my coach cared, which I think was more important for me than anything, because I thought that nobody cared. I'm like, no, this is dumb. Everything about this is dumb. So it's just for me, that fight was it was a full circle moment where it's like, no, you don't get to feel sorry for yourself. You don't get to quit something else again, because realistically, everything in my life that I've succeeded in was just because I didn't quit. Everything that I've failed in was something I eventually quit, whether I had all the excuses in the world to do so or not. It was something that I either ran away from or quit. And I wanted to do it again just because that's how that cycle went. And for me, that stopped there. It stopped there. I got to see my coach, how much he cared. And then also I got to realize that, I'm better than I thought. But that started the first thoughts of me believing in myself. So from there, I still didn't have like full confidence. I'll say I was getting it. But then we had Tracy Reeder was my 5th fight. So then we were 6-0. I don't know. Either way, Tracy Reeder was the fight for me that I needed spiritually.
Talk about your relationship with your coaches. You touched on it a little bit there with those early fights kind of allowed you to believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. You're training right now at Grove City BJJ. You do some time at Immortal Martial Arts mm-hmm. Center. Who in those gyms is really pushing you and allowing you to be your best self?
Oh, we got tons of guys. You get hobbyists that can push you. The goal is just like, what are you willing to do for yourself? Are you willing to hold yourself back enough to take your so when you're going, I mean, you can learn against a white belt. It's just the likelihood of you doing so is low, and then the likelihood of you getting hurt because they're sporadic is very high. So that's not so good. But when it comes to any like blue belts or purple belts, if you're if it was just jiu-jitsu, if you're in that place, you can always do your main stuff. Like if you're just doing what you're good at, obviously you'll beat those guys. But if you're forcing yourself to play off your back, if you're forcing, like for me being a wrestler, me forcing myself to play off my back, I'm learning something. It doesn't feel good for me. I'm uncomfortable at that moment. But if you can constantly put yourself in uncomfortable positions, you're going to find a place where you can grow. And I think that's where most people fuck up. I think a lot of people fuck up because they want to grow quickly. Not only that, but they want to keep doing their best stuff. So they want to go to bigger gyms, and they think that going against better people and more experienced people is the way to go, which it is in a certain sense, but it's not the only way to go. And I think that's what the social aspect of the fighters have been pushed. You got to be in New York, you got to be in Florida, you got to be at all these top gyms to improve. And I just don't think that's the way to go. That's why I'm so hard-headed when it comes to just staying in Ohio and staying with my coaches. But other than that, you will find these freaks or these hobbyists that have no care in the world for fighting, or they just don't do well on that stage, and you'll get them everywhere. And I've trained from Ronin to Strong Style to Adamas to Immortal on both sides up in Gahanna. Like you'll find people that are capable of pushing you. It's just, are you allowing yourself to grow? Or if they can't push you, are you limiting yourself enough so you have space to grow?
That's an awesome mindset, man. I feel like a lot of fighters can definitely take what you're saying and apply it, because it's true. It's you against you at the end of the day, right, in the sport. So I feel like applying that to your training is definitely helping you become the best athlete you can be. And I got to ask you, looking at your Tapology, which for the most part, I feel like you could kind of look at Tapology and take it at face value. But at one point, you were scheduled to fight Jack Della Maddalena, but instead you had a 21-month layoff. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about what was going on during that time and what ultimately brought you back to fighting?
Yeah, I had brain surgery. I don't even know what side of this. Oh, there it is. So I got a brain surgery. The doctors tried to touch me up. They were. I got my wiener touched so much, and not even in the good way. They end up doing so many tests that had to shoot blood, and it just happened. The catheter happened to need to be down there. They used the catheter, they used everything. So it was, they chained me up. It was, I won't say it was exciting, but it sure wasn't boring. Got high a lot. They just kept feeding me fentanyl. What else was there? Oh yeah, I had brain disease. I guess that's the boring part. But we end up doing what we need to do to make sure we can make our way back to fighting. We got this scar, and obviously we got the cross in there. Just letting everybody know that this wasn't an accident. You roll the dice enough times, you start looking at the reasons, or not even the reasons. You start looking at the things that Muay causes, strokes, seizures, and then you start looking at how it causes it. A lot of it's to deal with blood flow, whether you're getting excited, whether you're doing cardio, whether you're having sex, whether you're drinking, which is pretty much everything that we deal with as athletes, or if you're just a dumbass kid like I was. So all those things, not to include getting hit in the head, not to include getting choked, like those obviously increase it as well. But I'm pretty much just been living my whole life on a tripwire and not realizing it. And just looking back after Tracy Reeder, we started to look into God. After Michael Robertson, I found the most faith I had, and then I obviously during brain surgery, there's a lot of mental problems, but it was more of I stopped thinking about me so much and just trying to do what I'm supposed to be doing, and in a way, I used that as an excuse to work out. And eventually I found myself back in the hospital with a couple seizures, a couple dance parties, a couple of shimmies. And you just realize how blessed you are. You realize that life's short. We shouldn't take this shit for granted. So we don't.
There we go. How difficult was it for you to transition back into fighting? You know, obviously, like you said, you had a lot going on medically. You were kind of struggling in your personal life a little bit, maybe. What ultimately pushed you to be like, hey, I want to fight 4 times in less than a calendar year after I come back?
Yep. It was either that or we're going to do a lot of drugs and gonna talk to whores. So unfortunately, those were 2 options. And now that we are getting better at my biggest weakness, which happens to be women, we are on the straight and narrow. I won't even say that because that's enough to jinx me. We're trying our best. We are trying to chase the Lord 1 foot in front of the other. I don't even like to look up. I get inspired way too easily, so I just kind of keep my head down and do what I'm supposed to do, and hopefully we don't get the urges that the body, the fleshly body has. And if we do, we got to pray hard, just get down there and do what I need to do to make sure that Satan does not get a hold of me again.
Definitely happy you found yourself on the right path. I think I speak for everybody when you made the right choice between those 2 options for sure.
I don't know.
Go ahead and pass it back up.
I wanted to touch a little bit on that.
Fuck me.
That fight you were supposed to have with Jack Della Maddalena. Obviously, that's a fight with the UFC, which is big in its own. And for those, if you somehow don't know, Jack Della Maddalena, that's not just any random fighter. That's the former welterweight UFC champion, beat Bilal Muhammad to win the belt. Just fought Islam Makhachev. So how did that fight come about? You know, what's it like getting the call? How'd you get on the radar with UFC? Like, how's that come about?
Most people have seen me go through the cage with Mike Robertson. So after that, we blew up. We went on ESPN. LFA tried their best to try to hide it, and it just didn't work. So after a couple million views, about 2 weeks later, I'm eating ice cream. My old manager calls me, goes, "Yo," I'm like, "What's up?" I'm actually doing a podcast at the time, and he's like, "Hey, you able to fight so-and-so?" I'm like, "Yep." I didn't know who it was at the time. He goes, "All right, I'm going to put you in the hat." I go, "Okay." The podcast people at the time were like, "So you might be fighting soon." I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "Can you say anything about it?" I go, "Nope." They're like, "All right." I was like, "You're just going to have to see." So it was a weird moment, but that was I was out in Circleville at the time, so that was a while ago. I think 4 years ago. I was 24 when I got called to the UFC, and I'm 27 now, so 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's just the opponent in that. I think is just crazy. I'm a huge nerd of both the MMA in general, and then of course UFC. So to see Jack Della Maddalena, I just think that's such a cool thing because you would have caught him so early in his UFC time too, which would have just been wild to think about.
Yeah, we would have been humping his leg, dog. Boom. Down there, people would be like, "Oh, I thought you stood up." It's like, I do.
Not with
For
this
some
guy.
people, yeah.
Yeah. No, I got you. But speaking of guys, UFC level guys, in OCL in May of 2025, he fought Melvin Gillard, who maybe people don't know was in the UFC. The guys he's fought: Israel Adesanya, new interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje, Michael Johnson. You know, the names go on and on. The guys that he fought. What's it like, you know, getting to fight someone with that resume and who had fought guys like that? Because like I said, for me, that would be cool. No, I'm like, oh, I'm fighting the guy that fought this guy. You know, just kind of thinking of it like that. What's it like going through that and then not only getting that fight, winning that fight, and then winning it in the first round? You know, like what's the emotions? What's the thought process behind all that?
The weirdest thing about it is it was kind of like how I started as an AMI. Like it was more of like, no, our goal is to push ourselves. So like I wasn't too worried about who he was. Like it was exciting for the fans about who he was. I wasn't worried about his record or who he's fought. It was more just like, okay, if we're who we think we are, if this is supposed to happen like this, hey, then we got to do what we got to do. And at the end of the day, if we lose, then maybe it's not for us. So this was still before like I found the confidence that I needed. But I just backed everything on the Lord and just did what I was supposed to do at that point. And we happened to get a viral moment, not as cool as us going through the cage, but I thought I broke his neck. And then as he was talking towards the end of the fight, or at the end of the fight, he's talking, and I'm like, he's taking his gloves off. I'm like, don't make me feel bad, dude. Don't make me feel bad. I thought he was going to retire right in front of me. I'm over here talking. So the announcer guy is trying to talk to me about different things. I don't even know what he's asking me. So if I'm just speaking gibberish, it's because I'm paying attention to Melvin taking off his gloves, and I'm like, oh no, oh, don't do this to me. Not me. Like, so I was just like, please fight one more time. That's all I was thinking in my head. So I don't even know what the guy was asking me. I'm just like, oh, just don't retire. Wait a couple seconds. Wait for me to leave because I'm gonna feel so bad. But either way, it's just it was weird because it was another full circle moment where I'm just like, oh, it's not that I'm different or this is different, but it's kind of like history repeating itself of me starting off like, no, if this is what we're supposed to be doing, then full steam ahead. Why have any second guesses on it, second thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, it's awesome to fight, like I said, guys with that resume, guys that have done the things that they've done, just to see names like that. Because I remember when that fight got announced, I was like, obviously I know who Josiah is. I was like, I know who Melvin is too. I'm like, that's pretty sick to see that fight. So I think that's cool. And then obviously getting a win over him in the first round makes it just even cooler.
So after that fight, you know, you fought one more time in OCL, got your professional welterweight strap back, which leads us to your most recent fight, LFA 224 up in Prior Lake, Minnesota. You shared the main event spot. You were the co-main event. Headlining the show was another Ohio fighter, Bad Matt Adams. He ended up falling short in his fight, but you ended up walking away with a knockout in the third round against a 13-2 opponent, making his LFA debut. What was your preparation like for this fight? Did you do a lot of film on this guy? You know, I looked at his record and he fought a lot overseas. What was your preparation like, and what ultimately led to your victory?
It was victory via exhaustion. He just didn't want to wrestle with me anymore. I guess so. He just got super, super tired and kind of started collapsing. And I realized that jiu-jitsu can help. So first round, I wasn't really trying to do too many jiu-jitsu things. I just didn't want to be off my back. When I hit the second round, I'm like, okay, well, we can't keep doing what we did the first round because I mean, I did more damage, but he controlled me. So I mean, that round's his, and then it's just like I'm not dealing with that. So I'd rather do what I need to do and lose on me fighting back than me just being defensive. So I started using my jiu-jitsu to start getting reverses and getting on top. And to be real, like he didn't even have to shoot on me. So it's not my fault we went to the ground. But our preparation and everything leading up to the fight was a lot of cardio, a lot of aerodyne. Oh, dude, if you asked me if my firstborn would get slapped at every birthday by, I don't know, the Lord himself, I'd be like, dude, I got to give you up. If I didn't have to do the aerodyne, you're getting slapped at every year, dog. And to be fair, like I would explain it to him, and I'm like, listen, you're not one yet, but when you turn one, I don't know if you're gonna make it, but I want you to know I love you. Either way, so a lot of airdyne, a lot of cardio, a lot of grappling, a lot of wall wrestling. Gavin helped me a bunch. Miles helped me a bunch. We had Jaden in there. We had so many guys in there, and realistically, we have a good group of guys. The hardest part is just being consistent with everybody. So we have a lot of talent in Ohio. It's just mostly spread out because everybody has their own gyms, own spots. But we have more than we need for when it comes to like the deep pool. Like we have good people from all the way up to Cleveland, past Toledo, down in Dayton. Like we have Cincinnati. Like when it comes to all over, we have a good group of guys. It's just we're all spread out. So it was nice being able to have a couple of these guys come together. Like I said earlier with Adamas, like me being able to go up to Adamas and train with Dante Leon and those guys. Oh, it's everything. So it's hard for me not to believe my grappling ability whenever I get to train with guys like that. And that all led me up to the fight, and all just helped me get just the comments I need to go out there and do my thing.
So after a big win like that, you got to kind of be watching your phone a little bit, right? You know, you take out, like I said, a very talented opponent that the LFA brought in, ended up finishing him. When do you think the UFC will give you a call? Can we expect you in there maybe later this year, maybe even this spring, this summer? What do you think will happen in that regard?
Well, my manager wants me to wait, so we'll just listen to him. If it's up to me, then it'll happen sooner than later. But we've got an offer from LFA to it was not a real offer, like we didn't sign a contract or anything, but they brought up us fighting in March. Their champ. I was like, I'll take that dude out, win a belt. But that's only if the UFC is just waiting on us to prove ourselves again, which that seems to be the moral of our story. We just got to keep proving ourselves, which I'm okay with. It can be irritating, but that's not up to me. When it comes to like me watching my phone, no, not really. At this point, my manager will call me and go, "Yo, pick up the fucking phone." I'll be like, "Okay." So then I'll pick up the phone, and so he'll have all that taken care of. I don't have to worry about it. That's just things that you don't want to be like constantly looking over, like, oh, have they called me? Have they this? It's anxiety through the roof. It's stuff. I don't need to have my butt puckered 24/7. So I'm just trying to be relaxed, trying to do what I'm supposed to do, and that starts with just food and training.
Hey, and that's what you have managers for, man. That's what they're for. But Connor, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back up to you.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, I watched your last fight at LFA. I mean, I watched it. I got the sling, the day thing is sling just to watch your guys' fight, you and
Awesome.
Bad Matt Adams, man. I was trying to figure it out, and as I put it on the TV, you're walking out. I was like, perfect. Like, that's right. But talking about that fight, I mean, I gotta bring up the attempt at the Mighty Mouse armbar.
Oh.
What is going through your head going into that? Like, you know what? I'm gonna try this because I don't know if anyone has ever thought that they should try that in a fight besides you and Demetrius Johnson. So what's going through your head there?
I'll do it again. Don't let me get behind you. This is the thing. I don't think too much. Like the thing is we've hit that so many times in practice. We've hit it so many times in training and live situations and scenarios. That's just something that's in the bag now. The only thing I'm upset with is I went to go to switch off and try to put it behind my armpit so I can break it. And I just should have went for because I didn't like he was going to tap. So like we're still getting enough pressure to where we can get that hyperextension. And he was getting ready to tap, but no, my hard-headed ass was like, no, I want to break it. So I go to put it behind my armpit like a fucking nerd, and I go to try to break it, and I lose it. And I told the CEO, I go, listen, if I would have got that armbar, I would have came, and you would have had to kick me out of that cage right there. And he goes, what? He goes, you had a great fight. I go, I don't think you heard me. If I would have hit that armbar, I would have came in the cage. And he goes. And he keeps trying to push on him like, I'll say it again if I have to. And eventually it just led on to, it's like, okay, obviously he doesn't want to hear this. So if I would have hit that armbar, I would have drop kicked a ring girl straight up. One of them. Somebody's getting drop kicked. Okay. Either way, it was a good thing I did not get that armbar because we would have been trifling real quick. So it's good things happen. And then for that was a good thing for the world that didn't happen.
I sitting there watching it, and once I saw him go up in the air, I was like, "There's no way he's about to try this." And like I said, if you would have I was sitting with someone who they didn't know anything about MMA, and I start losing my mind. They have no clue what's going on. I was like, "Dude, he did the that's the armbar." Like they had no clue what's going on. I'm losing my mind. So you popped me for it. I thought that was absolutely incredible. So if you would have finished it, I probably would have drop kicked my TV with you, so it would have been the same thing.
Everybody in Ohio, a unison, just drop kicks
Oh,
TV,
we all
and then
wanted
we blame it on the LFA, and then they have to pay
go.
for it.
So, Josiah, I feel like I would be doing everybody who listens to our show a disservice if I did not ask you about your nickname.
Yep.
This is one of my favorite nicknames that we have in the state of Ohio right now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely incredible. Where did the muscle hamster come from?
Yo, we had these. It's a giant. It's pretty much like a giant gerbil water bottle, and you drink out of it, right? And as you're drinking out of it, you have to drink out of it like this, and you're drinking out of it like a hamster. And I was like, really? And somebody ended up coming up with, no, I'm just fucking with you. My high school coach, just out of the blue, was like, you run like Doug Martin. I'm like, okay. He's like, you're the muscle hamster. I'm like, fuck you, because me and him have beef. He would blame every loss that we had. I was a long snapper, and I don't think anybody wants a 5'4" long snapper. So it's like, I got T-Rex arms. I'm shooting them through. Okay, sometimes we're not going to get there. All right, but I'm trying my best, and you didn't care. Either way, he called me. He's a good dude, but he called me the muscle hamster, and I've kept that since junior year, maybe sophomore year, and it's gotten me bullied since. Luckily, I can fight, because I mean, if I couldn't fight, I would probably not be here. I'd be with strippers and doing stupid things.
I was gonna ask.
I love that, man. That is an awesome background story.
Yes.
Strippers? Are you talking about the strippers?
I mean, we can throw that in there for sure.
No,
yeah.
That's mostly a joke.
Man.
But I think our last question for you, we always like to end with this. Normally when we interview guys, they got a fight coming up. You're not currently booked. So we're going to phrase this question a little bit differently. What can people expect from Josiah Harrell in 2026?
Oof. I would say just pushing myself, not trying to dance around the subject. We're gonna do what we need to do to get to the belt. Luckily, I believe that there's not many people at 55 that can touch me, so we're doing what we need to do to get down there. And then in the meantime, that's when you play like a little SpongeBob meme. It says in meanwhile, whatever. I'll be fighting whoever we need to do at 70. If the UFC says we need to take another shot, we'll go to LFA and beat up their guy a little bit. If they're like, nope, just keep waiting. If my manager keeps telling me to wait, then we'll do that. But realistically, it's not in our hands. As much as I would love to be able to plan everything out and have everything go my way, it's not how it goes. So I give it up to the Lord, I give it up to Jesus, and everything else is kind of taken off my shoulders. It allows me to relax a little bit and do what I need to do. That's all I'm doing is what are my daily responsibilities. Nothing else matters. It's just everything will accumulate and it'll add too much stress to my life, and I just don't need that. So as of right now, I'm just living day by day, doing what I need to do to make sure I'm becoming the best person, man, fighter, lover, whatever I need to be to improve myself.
Love that confidence right there, ladies and gentlemen. Josiah, thank you for coming on the show. It was I had a great time with this interview. This one was a lot of fun. But this is the time in the episode where we give you the floor, man. Any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out, this is your time.
Oh, we got a shit ton of sponsors. Hold on, let me grab my shorts. They're out here. I can't hear myself now, but can you believe my ass fit in these things? We got a bunch of sponsors, just good people all around. If you guys want to, you can follow me on Instagram at Josiah Harrell MMA. Mostly post memes. And then I also have a couple links into my school if you guys want to try to get into that. I need people to let me know what to teach. Who knows what might teach that Mighty Mouse armbar, so one of you guys can hit it.
There we go. That's what we like to hear right there. Josiah, thank you for coming on the show. Definitely we'll be watching your career very closely, and we will definitely be having you back on in the future. Looking
It'd
forward
be awesome. Remember, no drugs, no hookers. That's what I'm telling myself that mostly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Josiah. We'll see you
Yes,
next
sir.
time.
I'll see it.
That was Josiah the Muscle Hamster Harrell. Connor, we are so blessed that we've had two absolute characters as our last two interviews. That I don't know if you guys can see this. I hope you guys were watching Josiah, but dude, I was laughing in the background throughout
so good
for the stuff he was saying.
He does it all with a straight face. That's what gets you. You think he's serious. He's good, dude. I mean, great fighter, even better person. I mean, that was a great time. I love watching him fight. It was a pleasure to get to talk to him. I had a great time.
Definitely. We'll be keeping a close eye on the Muscle Hamster. Definitely, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to get that Paramount subscription sooner than later. Definitely one of the most interesting prospects we have in Ohio. But it's time to get down to business, Connor. As my description says today, I do in fact know ball. I went 8-3 this weekend. We'll take that. That's the best of everybody that participates in Carnage Media.
Yeah.
I took the cake this weekend. I'll pat myself on the back. Connor, you're probably going to take it back next week, to be completely real with you. I haven't even looked at that card yet because I've been so dialed into this one. But I am a little sad where we might as well get this one out of the way. Quick. Michael Johnson and Alex Hernandez was pulled off the card on Saturday on fight day. Suspicious betting lines. I definitely think that's something we're going to see a lot of early.
Yeah.
I don't think this will be the only time this happens. I think the UFC is going to want to kind of set the tone with Paramount and be like, okay, we're not doing this. This is not what we're about. So sad to see, but I think I can honestly say I would rather that fight not take place than the fight take place, somebody lose by some dumb finish in the first round, and then everybody's angry at each other. Don't like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But kicking off the prelims, Ty Miller ended up finishing Adam Fugit through a right hook, caught him with a knee just before the end of the first round. Your boy Josh Hookett ended up also getting a knockout. Connor, you want to talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, that was one of the most lopsided heavyweight fights I think I've ever seen. Talk about a severe gap in skill. Hockey was just better everywhere than Freeman. Freeman gassing out the entire time. I've actually been seeing people say it was a TKO due to middle finger because after he walks away, gives him the middle finger, then Freeman falls down to a knee and they wave it off. So that's going to be the only middle finger finish in the UFC, I'm assuming. So, yeah, no, good for him. Like I said, I knew it was going to be a fight that they were going to get to have him win, have him look good, and show the character that he is, and that's exactly what they got.
And moving on from there, we started off this card with 4 knockouts. You want to get the people invested in this sport, bro? Like that's about as good of a start as you can ask for. But one of my 3 defeats did in fact happen next. Alex Perez, left hook glaried, Charles Johnson. Well, welcome to fighting, right? Like that. Yeah, what else can I say? First round knockout. Definitely excited to see Alex Perez in there.
Yeah. People doubt him. People forget about Alex Perez. Like I said, he's got losses, but they're against the best flyweights the world has ever seen. Like, he's still got it. I mean, I was happy for him and really happy because I picked it. So I was happy about that one.
I will say, though, Connor, we did both screw up here in this next one. We got to put some respect on the name of Nikita Krylov. Walked away with an overhand right knockout very, very late in the 3rd round. That was a lot of fun. I went back and watched some of the highlights from that one this morning, but yeah, I did not see that coming out of Nikita Krylov for sure.
No, well, since he's come back, I think I might have picked him. I didn't pick him to beat Goose Call, but I think when he was going up against Reyes, I was leaning more his way just because I didn't know what he was going to be like since he came back, and then he lost 2 knockouts in the first round in a row. So naturally, I'm not going to pick him to win. And not only does he win, he wins by knockout in a fight that he was winning. Like if it was like the knockout was, there was 3 seconds left until the end of the fight. If it would have went to the scorecards, he would have won anyway. So, I mean, he dominated, looked good. So Krylov still got it, it sounds like, and I'm excited to see it.
Definitely, definitely. And then moving up through the prelims, the one fight I really thought where I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is not going to go the distance. There's no way. It ended up going the distance. Ateba Gautier, I think that's how you say his name. That's my best guess there. Walked away with the UD victory. Well-deserved in my opinion. But, man, dude, I really thought of any fight on this card outside of maybe the big boys, this one would have ended in a finish.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was expecting the first round finish just like everybody else was. He landed some big shots, but Poilievre was able to eat those shots and keep going, and it kind of showed that Gautier didn't really know what else to do. He's so used to knocking people out in the first round. Once that didn't happen, he kind of kept what he was doing, throwing a jab a little bit, really powering in with that right hand, and then teeping a little bit. But other than that, he didn't really show too much of an evolution from his other fights. He was getting caught with some body kicks. I mean, I still believe he won. They got that right. He dropped the dude multiple times. He's got that, that crazy one-punch power. But they were talking about it on commentary. Joe Rogan said it a lot. I think this fight, even though he did win, is going to make people want to sign that contract more to fight him. They were struggling to get him opponents because he was, destroying people so quick. But seeing someone like that come in who was way smaller than Gautier too, come in and be able to survive 3 rounds, I think you might get some more matchups coming in for him now.
I definitely agree with that. When you're putting guys face down, ass up, you're not going to have a long line of guys being like, hey, I want to fight that guy. So definitely curious to see where the UFC goes with him next. But featured prelim, Umar Nurmagomedov walks away victorious over the former 125 champ Davison Figueiredo, who missed weight.
Yeah, crazy.
I was very surprised to see that Figgy missed weight. I know he was big at 125 for sure, but I thought with this move to 35, I was like, okay, he'll have it dialed in. He made 25. He made it work. I was a little surprised to see that he missed weight, but that didn't matter to Umar. He ended up walking away victorious, and I think the judges got that right.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say on that fight. It was an Umar fight. I don't really expect Umar to finish anybody anymore. I expect him to do exactly what he did there. So, what's next for him? I know he's going to be calling for a title shot, but dude, you're not really entertaining nobody. Him and Peter Yan would be fun. I do agree it would be fun, but I don't know. There's a lot of it's kind of bunched up with about 3 or 4 guys up there at the top of bantamweight for that title, including the champ. So I think we'll see how they, kind of unfolds. There's obviously, another bantamweight fight we got to talk about later on that'll kind of, shuffle that up a little bit.
For sure. Lots of interesting prospects right now at 135. And before we jump into the main card, I do have to point out we also did not get Ricky Tercios versus Cameron Smotherman. Smotherman fainted, made weight, was walking to exit the stage and fainted. Luckily, he kept all his teeth. Obviously, he couldn't catch himself, but yeah, don't like seeing that. Definitely kind of just exposed one of the darker parts of the sport, right? Like weight cutting. Unfortunately, there's really no good way to get rid of weight cutting without putting a ton of capital and effort into it that I don't know if the UFC is really willing to do. So definitely don't like seeing that. Thoughts with Cameron Smotherman. But on a more positive note, moving forward, my boy, Jean Lord Silva, walking away victorious over Arnold Allen. You can call me crazy. I really think I had it 30-27 for Silva. I really do. I think that last little flurry at the end of the first round stole it. I think that was enough because it was a very close first round. And then I had him in 2 and 3 relatively easily.
Yeah, I had it 29-28. I had Arnold Allen in the first. I'm a big Arnold Allen fan, and I think he had the ability to beat Gene Silva. He, what I thought was going to be the difference maker ended up being the difference maker in the other way, if that makes sense. I thought Silva's pressure was going to end up getting him caught in some bad spots. but his pressure actually made Arnold very uncomfortable. He landed a lot of really nice elbows in there, which were, crucial to the damage that he was able to do to Arnold Allen. So, I mean, I think I think he's incredibly corny and incredibly annoying, and I'm not a fan of him, but he's fun to watch. So I always watch him fight, but I really enjoyed that Diego Lopez fight that he had, watching Diego put it on him like that. And he did prove that he can hang, though, because Arnold Allen's a top guy who only had 2 losses in the UFC leading up to that, and that being obviously Max Holloway, then Movsar Evloev, who is an undefeated featherweight. So Silva proved that he can hang. He beat a top guy. I'm not happy about it, but he did it.
So I assume that means you're not super thrilled about him jumping up on Arnold Allen's back and jumping into the air, right?
Oh,
that
dude, no.
Wasn't something you're looking for.
Another thing too, I think it was the end of the first round. When he gets that little combo at the end on Allen. They stop. Allen goes to give him, I don't know if he's fist bumping him, whatever, but hey, you caught me good. And then Silva obviously had to have said something, because then Arnold pushes him, and then everyone's all mad at Arnold Allen, oh, why you push? Silva said something stupid, because that dude's always.
He said something wild.
Yeah, he's always talking mess, and they were all getting mad at Arnold Allen for that. I was like, man. And then he wants to be at the end and be all cool and cry and nice when literally you jumped on the dude's back. No, get that. I hate that. Get that out of here, dude. Get that out of here.
Not a lot of John Silva fan statements, I guess, in this episode, but I did pick John Silva. I didn't think that he would win like that, I guess. I thought that he would finish Arnold Allen, or Arnold Allen would win a decision. So definitely not what I had.
Allen never been finished. I didn't think he was going to get finished. He's keeping that alive. He's never been finished.
True. He's starting to run out of time, though, man.
I know.
He needs a big win.
Yeah.
Soon.
It's a shame.
I'd say in this year might make or break Arnold Allen. He's just really missing that, top 5. Say, just throwing a name out there because it's what popped into my head. Arnold Allen beats Movsar Evloev when they rematch. Mm-hmm. That's what he kind of needs, in my opinion. So very curious to see where Arnold Allen goes.
He reminds me a lot of a Corey Sandhagen in that way, an entertaining fighter that's good, but they're so close to that next level, but they can't quite break through. That's what he's always reminded me of, a Corey Sandhagen, when it came to that aspect of it.
That makes a ton of sense. And Corey Sandhagen was actually at the fights this weekend. They showed him in the crowd a couple different times. But moving on up, Natalia Silva walked away with a unanimous decision over Rose Namajunas. That's complete and total bullshit. I picked Natalia Silva to win, and I was watching this fight, and I was like, damn, dude, Connor got another one on me. But literally,
I picked Rose. I picked Rose, and I was picking with my heart. She's my favorite female fighter ever. So I'm picking my heart. Everyone's telling me, dude, you're going to get that wrong. I'm watching the fight. I'm like, dude, she's proving everybody wrong. She's proving me right. They're like, Silva hasn't lost in this many years, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, she's about to lose right now. And then they say Rose lost a fight. That's complete. That's wrong. They wanted Silva's ranked so high. They knew if Rose beat her, it's a conspiracy now because my girl lost. If Rose would have beat her, there's their top contender that's ready for the title. That totally gets shut down if Rose beats her. So I feel like the conspiracy, the fix is in. They wanted Silva to be the next title challenger because watch her get a title shot now after beating Rose. I'm going to be so upset about all this.
It's possible, man. Especially, I feel like because Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko have kind of closed their book for now. I would say they fought 3 times. I don't think anybody's really in a hurry to see them fight again. So 25 really kind of needs somebody, and I don't disagree that they might have kind of pushed that a little bit to be like, okay, we need somebody to give to Valentina.
Yeah, they didn't think Rose still had it. She still got it.
Remains to be seen. I also picked with my heart in this fight, and I still thought that she did win. I really did. But moving to the big boys, main card. Waldo Cortez Acosta, Salsa Boy, great nickname as well. Former pitcher in the Cincinnati Reds organization, walked away with a knockout victory over the knockout king himself, the Black Beast, Derek Lewis. Connor, I don't really have a ton for this fight, man. Derek Lewis just kind of looked sluggish, I guess
No,
would be the right word.
yeah, I got a little bit to say because I got some people stirred up on social media with this last night. I picked Waldo. I thought it was pretty obvious to pick Waldo. What Derek Lewis is good at is hitting hard. He's slow, he's sloppy, he's not athletic, and he's old. Waldo hits hard, is fast, is athletic, and is younger. I thought it was a no-brainer that he was going to beat Derek Lewis. Everyone's like, nah, the Black Beast all the way. No. And I said something about that last night on social media. I was like, that's a casual pick to pick Derek Lewis. Had a lot of people upset that he was the knockout king. I'm like, no disrespect to heavyweights, but if you're going to get knockouts, it's going to be at heavyweight. So it made sense that I thought it was obvious that Waldo was going to win. He did win. Derek looked like his heart was not in it. He ends up like slipping, falling down, and then just staying there and gets TKO'd. I was like, it was sad to watch, but I was happy because I like Waldo. I think he's very entertaining. I think he's good, and I think he is that level of guy to challenge for a title. So he's definitely up there. Whether that's next, I know they got to sort out the whole Cyril Gahn, Tom Aspinall situation, but whether he's next in line or if he gets a fight against, say, a Curtis Blades or something like that would be fun to watch as well. But watch out, Waldo Cortez Acosta, man. Watch out. He's been on a run, and I think he has all the ability to be a heavyweight champion.
I agree with that, man. Heavyweight kind of needs respect to Tom Aspinall, but I feel like he could be what heavyweight's kind of looking for. He's fast. He's athletic, powerful. We said the same things about Tom Aspinall.
Exactly.
And we only got one round of him and Cyril Gahn, but I didn't really see big, fast, athletic Tom Aspinall in that one round. Granted, that's, like I said, a small sample size. I get it. But Waldo Cortez Acosta could be, in a year's time, we could be like, all right, this dude's one of the most athletically gifted heavyweights of all time.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Like, you look at them top guys at heavyweight, it's them athletic guys. Like, obviously, Tom Aspinall, we talked about Waldo, and then Cyril Gahn is a huge athletic heavyweight that gave Tom Aspinall trouble. Aspinall hasn't had to fight, another really athletic guy like that. So maybe that is the key to what, can get it done against Tom Aspinall. But there's a lot to do at heavyweight right now. But I think Waldo should be next, if not next. He should be up right there. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Absolutely. And we got a little bit more clarity. We've talked about the bantamweights a little bit. Sean O'Malley ended up making some adjustments to put away Song Yadong. I say put away, but he ended up walking away with a unanimous decision. Good. Shout out first, before we get into this fight, shout out to Tim Welch. Tim Welch, Sean O'Malley's head coach, made good adjustments.
Yes.
I feel like that's something we haven't necessarily seen from Sean in the past. Granted, how the hell are you supposed to make adjustments on Rob? Like,
that is true.
Like, that's just an absolutely impossible task. But looking at this fight, Song kind of put it on him in the first round, and then Sean ended up walking away.
Yeah, the way I thought Sean was going to win is, what I thought he was going to do is exactly what he did in the third. I just thought he was going to pick that up a little sooner. That's, staying at that range, kind of picking him apart from range. Song was able to get inside, work some grappling, laying some good shots of his own too. So I was a little nervous going into it, but I knew if Sean could get the third, he could win the fight. And obviously he was able to incorporate that Sean O'Malley style. But yeah, the Tim Welch thing too, him being able to get Sean to adjust, because I'm so used to, him fighting Merab and getting dominated by Merab for 3 rounds and going to the corner, and Tim Welch is like, good, Shug, you're doing good. Like, is he doing good? Because he's getting dominated. So for them to actually, be able to switch it over and make those adjustments to get the win, it was impressive by Sean O'Malley, but I still think it showed a lot of holes in his game, holes that I think would make him lose to Petr Yan in a rematch, holes that I think would make him lose to Merab, obviously, again, and holes that I think would make him lose to Umar Nurmagomedov if they set that up. I don't think any of those fights are good for Sean O'Malley. I know he wants a title shot. I say just pull the trigger and do him and Corey Sandhagen. Everybody wants to see it. Just please do it. Just do it. We want to see it. It's going to be fun. Corey was there, called for it, said, I want Sean O'Malley. Make it happen. Go ahead and run Petr Merab again if you want, and make Umar fight whoever. I don't care what Umar does. I I don't see Umar Nurmagomedov on the card and be like, oh boy, I can't wait to watch Umar. So it's they can do whatever they want with him. But yeah, there's a lot to work out there. But I don't think Sean wants any of those top guys. He's just not built to fight those three. I think it's like a three-headed monster for him that he doesn't want to fight. So I say make the fun fight and have him versus Corey Sandhagen.
You say there's a lot going on up there, but I'll go ahead and clear it up right now for you. This will be really easy. Like you said, you run back Merab and Piotr Jan. That makes a lot of sense to me. They're 1-1 against each other. Might as well give us the trilogy. That's an easy pay-per-view headliner. I say pay-per-view. Numbered event headliner. You know what you do with Umar? You shelve him.
I was going to say, I can't think of a matchup, so yeah.
Yeah. Who's he going to fight? Realistically. There's nobody up there where I'm like, yeah, Umar should fight that guy, bro. I would love to see that. It just doesn't exist. And I think him and Piotr Jan would be fun, but it's just, I want to see him and Merab first.
Yeah,
so
it would be fun on the part of
Jan,
Piotr Jan too.
And then for the co-main event of that bantamweight fight, you do Sean and Corey. It's easy. Two super explosive bantamweights. They're going to stand and bang.
I just can't believe that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, right? Like, this is a fight. People talk about wanting to see Michael Venom Page and Stephen Thompson. You don't want to see that. Those guys aren't going to touch each other. Sean and Corey are going to hit each other.
Yeah,
that's a very, very different fight, in my opinion.
Yes.
So that's what I think should happen. That's easy.
I like that.
It's in your corner, Dana. Hunter Campbell. Come on now. But main event, my boy, proud American, Justin the Highlight Gaethje, beat the shit out of Paddy Pimblett for 5 rounds, basically.
He did. Oh, my God.
Before we get too far into this, shout out Paddy Pimblett. He told us when he first got to the UFC, Scousers don't get knocked out. And everyone was like, oh, yeah, dude, wait until you fight a Justin Gaethje. That guy got knocked down 3 times, ate so many right hands, stayed standing through it all. So I'll give it to him. Definitely wore it after the fight. Did not look great, but he did stand. He did take the beating. He made it work. First UFC losses to one of the all-time greats, so you can't ding him too much for that. On the flip side of this praise here, why in the heck? Who is game planning for Justin Gaethje outside of Ilia Topuria? Because that's different. Who is game planning for Justin Gaethje and is like, yeah, man, I want to stand and bang with that guy. I want to block punches with my face against that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I ranted about both of these guys of why I don't like that fight. And there's so much more to rant about after the fight. I talked about Paddy being so undeserving, and the UFC was throwing him up to the top because they wanted him to be a star. And, well, you shot him up to the top too soon because he got the crap beat out of him by Justin Gaethje. He comes in to fight Justin Gaethje, notable, great striker, hard hitter, wild fighter, stands chin here, hands down by his waist. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be smart against Justin Gaethje. Didn't try to grapple with him at all. Like, I'm like, dude, you're going to get – he got punched up. He did. He should have got finished multiple times. But, I mean, he had – the only success he had some strike success where because Gaethje always dips his head. He'd catch that uppercut when Gaethje would dip his head. But other than that, like, I mean, he got, like I said, he got skyrocketed. He got fast-tracked to the top way too soon. He did not deserve the title shot because of reasons just like that. He was calling out fighting Ilia. If Gaethje does that to you, imagine what Ilia Topuria would do to you. Like, it's not even – it would be a massacre what Ilia would do to him. It wouldn't last that long. It wouldn't even need to be a massacre. Actually, it would just be a one-and-done, put him out type of thing. So, I mean, it was cool to see Gaethje win. And I was talking about this in the group chat with some of my friends. I was like, if you ever need a guy to be that number 2 guy to win the number 2 title, you call Justin Gaethje. 2 interim titles, a BMF title. But when it comes to that world title, man, he hasn't gotten it. He isn't going to get it because now if they set up him and Ilia Topuria, I mean, come on. Ilia will knock out Justin Gaethje. Ilia will knock out Paddy Pimblett. I still think Arman Tsarukyan beats both of those guys. I just feel my heart wasn't in that fight because I didn't feel it made sense and I didn't feel it mattered because it wasn't the number 1 or the number 2 guy fighting for a title. It was like the number 4, the number 5 guy fighting for the number 2 title. Like, none of it made sense to me. it was obviously it was a fun fight to watch. I've been saying that. I know I crapped all over the fight, but I said it was going to be fun. It was fun. I enjoyed watching it. But then again, it was like just not, it wasn't the two best guys going at it for a title. And I just, like I said, I don't see anything good happening to them from here, because obviously they got to do Justin and Ilya. You would assume if Ilya comes back, I know my hot take of the year was Ilya would never fight again. So even if he doesn't fight again, then you got to think it's Justin versus Arman, and I think Arman wins that fight too. So it's kind of all roads lead to a loss for Justin Gaethje, I feel, at this point. Patty needs to take a step back. I would like to see him fight the winner of Dan Hooker and Benoit Saint-Denis. I think would be the best step backwards, but still top guy for Patty Pimblett.
Definitely. I agree with most of that. And you talked about that fight being exciting. That is exactly the kind of fight you want to kick off the Paramount.
Yeah.
You had a lot of people watching that fight, man. Paramount's an easy way. I saw people who, like, I know nothing about fighting.
Me too.
Posting on their posting on their Instagram stories like, "Oh, watching the UFC." I was like,
"Oh, Patty fight night." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, congratulations, dude. I've been trying to tell you this for 5 years now, but we can move on from that.
Which is, I get that's why they booked it, though, because they knew they needed a big fight in the main event. So obviously, Patty and Gaethje's gonna be more entertaining than Arman and someone else. I get that. I need to quit being so into the rankings, because why would the rankings make sense? Why even have them at this point? But it was a fun fight. It's what they needed. Paramount got what they wanted. So
right. And looking forward, we're just going to touch on this really quick. We have another numbered show. I couldn't tell you the last time the UFC did numbered shows in back-to-back weeks, but they will be traveling to New South Wales, Sydney, Australia next weekend for UFC 325. Volkanovski versus Lopez 2. We'll just kind of rip through this real quick. We got some road to the UFC fights, the tournament championships to kick off the show. Some names that jump out to me. You have American hero Torres Finney. Somehow still employed Junior Tafa. Coming off a crazy head kick knockout, Quillen Salkid? Is that how you say that? He head kicked some dude into oblivion last summer. That was on my time. That was in Qatar. So I was sitting in my apartment watching that. Damn, dude. That guy got him. he got him. But in the co-main event, everybody's favorite fighter. If you don't like watching Dan Hooker fight, you don't like watching fighting, in my opinion. Dan Hooker, Benoit Saint-Denis. This is a great co-main event. Connor, who do you have?
That's tough, because obviously we all love Dan Hooker, but I put him in the same boat as Justin Gaethje. He's good at one thing, and Benoit Saint-Denis has shown that he's good at more than one thing. But at the same time, I could see Benoit getting, wrapped up into the let's have a slugfest with Dan Hooker, kind of like he did with Dustin Poirier, and we saw how that went. So that one's tough. I think I would lean more Benoit on this one, honestly. I just think he has more ways of victory than Dan Hooker does with the, the wrestling and the grappling. I don't think Dan can't grapple at all. It is rough.
No.
So I think I would lean more Benoit Saint-Denis on this one. Especially if he wants to keep that run going to reach the top. He needs to be more smart with his fights, which he's been doing a lot lately.
I agree. I was actually going to make that point too about Benoit Saint-Denis needing to kind of start stacking up some wins.
Yeah.
Two great guys though. Benoit Saint-Denis, former French Special Forces, transitioned to MMA, 16-3. And then, like I said, your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, Dan the Hangman Hooker. I'm just with you, Connor. Benoit just has so many more ways to win. We've never, all due respect to Dan Hooker, he's done a lot for the sport, put on a lot of good fights, but I just don't, especially if BSD decides to wrestle, there's just no way to victory. So it's with a heavy heart. I have to pick Benoit Saint-Denis. But last fight that we're going to call, I promise we're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Alexander Volkanovski defends his title once again against Diego Lopez. Rematch from their last fight. Volk ended up walking away with a unanimous decision there. Connor, who do you have?
Again, another fight that I'm not going to look at the rankings about, because, again, this one doesn't make the most sense in my eyes, but I'm not going to even talk about it because nobody wants to hear me complain about that again. This fight, I think it's very fun. The first one, absolute banger fight. I love Volk. Can he do it twice? Diego, he came back, beat Gene Silva, so obviously I loved him for that. That was a great, dominated Silva in that fight, and got the finish there. So he's riding that momentum. This one, I'm so torn on this one. I think the safe money is on Volkanovski just because he can get it done because he's gotten it done already against Diego. He's one of the best, if not the best fighters, one of the best fighters ever and the best featherweight. So I think it's safe to say Volkanovski, but I would not be surprised at all if we saw a Diego Lopez slugfest decision win over Volk, or if he would just he'd have to catch something crazy because we know Volk can get caught, but it has to be something crazy. And the way Lopez fought him the first time was it wasn't anything that Volk hasn't seen before. Volk's fought the best guys in the world. Lopez is good, but he wasn't on that level yet. I feel like this one will be a little more competitive than the last one, but I'm still going to go with Volkanovski to probably retain his belt. I could see myself totally switching this by the end of the week, but right now I'm going to rock with Volk as of this moment in time.
I'm going to go against you here. I hate doing it. I don't like picking against Volk. And the only reason I'm doing it, I don't necessarily think Diego Lopez is better than Alexander Volkanovski. But it seems to be MMA math, which MMA math, take it with a grain of salt, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I really think people struggle to beat somebody twice.
I know, man. Speaking. I know.
Guys have a hard time going 2-0 against somebody.
But if anyone can do it, it's Volk, who beat Max Holloway 3 times.
Holloway 4 times. Yeah, I hear you there for sure as a Max Holloway super fan.
Yeah.
But dude, I can't do it. It sucks to say that Volk's going to lose at home, but either way, I think he retires. I think this is probably the last time we'll see Volk. If he loses, for sure.
Yes. If he loses, yes. But if he wins, have they announced? I'm going to look right now. Lerone Murphy, is it him and Movsar supposed to fight? I saw rumors. I don't know if that was official or not.
I don't know if it's official or not, but yes, those have been going around. I could definitely, if he sticks around for one more fight, it would be to fight the winner of that fight.
The winner of that, yes, which I believe would be Movsar, who then, my other prediction for the year that I had was Movsar ends the year as the featherweight champion. It's all lining up. But, I could see him. Definitely, if he loses Diego, I could see that being it, especially getting to retire in front of his home people would make sense. But if he wins, I wouldn't be surprised at a retirement if he wins, but he has talked about the want and the excitement to fight guys like Movsar, guys like Lerone Murphy. So I could see him sticking around for one more, but 2 at most. 2 more fights, this one and one more at most. I
think by the end of the year, Volk will probably be done. I think that's a safe bet, I feel like.
I agree. Yes, I agree.
But there you have it, folks. We had a heck of an episode today, Connor. Started off with one of the most exciting prospects in the country, the muscle hamster himself, Josiah Harrell. Talked about the first UFC Paramount show last weekend, UFC 324, and even dabbled a little bit in UFC 325. That concludes this week's episode. Connor, your time to shine, man.
Yeah, if you guys want to know where to find me, always find me here. Every time there's a video posted on Carnage, if I'm not in it, there's probably something wrong. I'm always in all these videos, so catch me on here. Follow me on Instagram, I.am_Connor Smith. And then February 21st in Newark, Ohio at the Cherry Valley Hotel, I'll be back fighting at 125 pounds. I'll be taking on Joshua Caban. He's like the number 3 ranked flyweight in Pennsylvania. I'm going to be taking him on for American Fight Promotions. It's going to be a great fight. I'm getting in the best shape I've ever been in. I feel great, feel excited. Taking on another wrestler. People say I can't beat him, so I'm going to go out there and beat him, show that I can beat a wrestler. But yeah, that's where you can find me, and I'll see you guys the next time you tune into this.
Looking forward to February 21st, man, definitely, for sure. But you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at cscalina12. Tweet at me during the fights. I promise I'll be awake next week. My new pact with myself, because I don't have to pay for these anymore, is I will at least be awake for the main card. That is my approach to this going forward. But In regards to Carnage, we have Carnage Fight Series Ring Wars 2 coming up on February 14th. Make sure to get your tickets. We got some pro boxing, amateur kickboxing. Should be a lot of fun. And remember, guys, love is temporary, violence is forever. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.